The desert night was unnaturally still when I heard a frantic knock on my cabin door. This wasn't a lost traveler. This was the desperate pounding of someone running from death itself. I grabbed my revolver first, then cracked the door open. There she stood, dust-covered, breathless, trembling. Her midnight black hair whipped in the wind, her hazel eyes wide with terror. "Please," she whispered, her voice splintering. "I need protection. Just for one night. They're coming." Something in her voice, that fear sharpened with absolute certainty, made my gut twist. Her name was Alara Quinn. Seconds after stepping inside, she collapsed. I laid her on my bed, noticing the bruises on her arms and the torn hem of her dress. She had run a long, long way. As I handed her a glass of water, she flinched at every gust of wind outside. "Who's chasing you?" I asked quietly. She hesitated, then her answer came out as a whisper, fragile as frost. "A man they call Blackwell. Whatever he wants. He'll destroy this whole town to get it." A coldness settled deep in my chest. Blackwell. That wasn't a name you heard lightly. Rumors painted him as an outlaw with a private army, a phantom who burned entire settlements to the ground just to hunt one person. No lawman had ever caught him, and no soul had ever survived. Telling him no, I stared into the fire as Alara slept, muttering names and warnings in her restless dreams. For the first time in years, an old instinct stirred inside me, the one thought I'd buried when I left the Rangers. The instinct to protect. Just before dawn, I stepped outside. The air smelled wrong, charged with unnatural energy. The sky flickered with distant lightning, though no storm was forecast. When I walked back in, Alara was sitting up, her eyes haunted. "He's close," she murmured. "Blackwell always brings a storm with him." I frowned, a figure of speech. She shook her head. "No, a real one." Before I could ask more, thunder cracked across the sky, so deep and violent the entire cabin rattled. Wind screamed through the cracks like an angry spirit. Alara grabbed my arm, her knuckles white. "We have to warn the town." We saddled my horse and raced toward Hollow Creek, the small settlement I'd quietly adopted as my home. Behind us, lightning tore the night open, illuminating a massive column of dust on the horizon. Dozens of riders. Blackwell's army. The moment we reached town, I rang the old iron bell in the square. Lanterns flickered on. Doors creaked open. People gathered, confused and scared. Sheriff Myers pushed through. "Halle, what in blazes?" I pulled Alara forward. "She's being hunted." "Blackwell is coming." A wave of whispers erupted. The sheriff's face went pale. He'd heard the stories too. Another roll of thunder was all the confirmation he needed. Alara stepped forward, her voice trembling but strong. "He wants a map I stole. A map to a weapons cache he plans to use to take the entire territory. If he gets it, this town will be the first to fall." I looked at the faces in the crowd, families I'd watched over 4 years. I couldn't let them burn. As the storm roared, we prepared for war. Men stacked crates for cover. Women hid the children. Then, on the ridge, a single torch appeared, held by a shadowy rider. Hundreds more followed, a dark wave stretching across the horizon. Blackwell himself rode forward, a massive man with eyes like burning coals. The storm swirled behind him as if it answered his command. His voice boomed across the flatland. "Hand over the girl, and your town survives the night." I stepped into the center of the street, my hand hovering over my revolver. "She stays with us." Blackwell smiled. A cruel, cold slash. "Then Hollow Creek dies." He raised his hand. The riders surged forward. Gunfire exploded. Horses thundered. Bullets split the air. In the chaos, lightning struck the water tower, sending steam hissing into the night. Alara pulled me behind a wagon just as bullets slammed into the wood where I'd been standing. "He just wants me," she said, her voice breaking. I should give myself up. I grabbed her wrist. "You give up, everyone dies. This isn't on you." Our eyes locked, and then I saw it, the solution. "Where's the map?" I asked. She pointed to her satchel. Primera snatched. It mounted my horse and rode straight for Blackwell. Looking for this, I yelled, throwing the map into the air. As Blackwell roared and fired at it, I shot the lantern hanging from the shattered water tower. The flame dropped, igniting the leaking steam. A massive burst of fire and vapor exploded across the ridge, scattering Blackwell's men in terror. The storm died instantly. Blackwell vanished into the night. Hollow Creek was safe. As dawn broke, Alara stood beside me, heady eyes soft. "I only asked for one night of protection," she said quietly. I managed a faint smile. "You've got it for as long as you need." And we both knew, standing there in the quiet morning. This was only the beginning. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like and subscribe for more.